All right, Byron has just finished watching WWE Raw from July 3rd, 2017, and we're ready. We are ready to do our review.
Correct. Although I was ready to do New Japan, and then you're like, "No, I hate New Japan."
I did not say that, and we're doing New
Especially
Japan
Shibata.
after this.
I hate Shibata.
That's a lie. No one will believe that. So the show opens up with Enzo Amore cutting a promo. Byron, take it away.
Again, masterclass. Enzo can't do anything except deliver completely, 100% on all things. There was a lot of writing of checks. What was that line? The silver-tongued devil with a heart of gold, but tonight my mouth and my brain are going platinum. Fuck.
That was a good line.
That was
a very good line.
And they dropped the "you're just a 7-foot catchphrase that I wrote," and
that was also very good.
I was just basically, I feel like I was watching a World Star video, and I was just going whoo and shaking my hand a lot, like stuff was on fire, and I was highly entertained. I know you had apparently issues because you're picky.
I had he kind of wound up repeating a couple of points over again. It's like and I can tell you exactly when it happened. Like, he got to the end of his actual content and then realized, shit, I have like another 30 seconds. So we're gonna go over a little bit of that again.
Yeah, I suppose. I didn't really have an issue with that, though. I could listen. I said right on Facebook there, I could literally listen to him all night. I don't care if he's saying the same thing all the time. He had my complete attention. He had everybody in that crowd's complete attention, and that, motherfuckers, is how you promo.
Yeah, no, I state that this could have been a little bit shorter, or a little bit more content, or a little bit better paced, whatever the case may be. However you want to handle my criticism, it's still an A+ promo. Like, even with that criticism, it's an A+.
Yeah. I don't know. You could hire Russo, bro, and he could write you a promo.
Let's not hire Vince Russo for anything.
But bro, they're from like the same place, bro. They speak the language, bro.
Ugh. All right, let's we go into Cass backstage, who's sounding like basically Vince McMahon's opinion of the team, with saying he's where the money's at. Yeah. And then Enzo attacks him before it's broken up. You know,
that was awesome too.
Yep.
The WWE, as it's come to be known on the internet, is really, really good at having very stale, very isolated, very bleh kind of spots. And this was very much a real up-in-your-face type scenario. I think that Enzo and Cass... Oh, he also said something about the only way you're going to get over is if you wear a shirt that says Cass Hole. God, that was awesome.
That was good. That was a good line, too.
And but this was very much a rough and ready, up in your face, and I have a feeling that Enzo and Cass are kind of masterminding the whole thing, regardless of what anybody else wants. I'm kind of getting that weird feeling, and just kind of the sudden and abrupt attack out of nowhere was very awesome, and I enjoyed it, and it was good, and so should you. So there.
No, I enjoyed that as well. So, show's off to a good hot start, and then we go to Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss. It's always weird to me seeing Sasha Banks trying to, like, Bayley it up with Bayley. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, it seems so unnatural to me all the time.
I guess so. I was, after all that Cass and Enzo stuff, I was kind of, oh no, we have to do like women's stuff now, and then it wasn't that bad. I didn't hate it. I actually kind of enjoyed the little double Bayley action for a bit. I didn't really have any issues with it.
Yep. The match itself, good stuff. Nia Jax is actually looking better every time out, which is good. Mm-hmm. She does some proper heel stuff for a change by attacking Bayley on the apron and then on the floor, which takes Bayley out of the match. I'm not keen on that. It didn't seem like enough punishment to render someone out of a match entirely, but it just goes back to Bayley being a really damaged commodity at this point.
Yarp. I guess they're trying to get Jax over as a giant destroyer, and I get that, but I don't really know. I guess Bailey has the most sympathy, so you can bump Bailey pretty damn hard one time, and then that's okay, and everybody's sort of on the same page on that one, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose. We get a 2v1 match, nothing spectacular, and eventually Sasha Banks catches Alexa Bliss in the bank statement for the win, and that sets up their matchup at Great Balls of Fire.
Mm-hmm. It's still kind of weird that you're burying your champ in a handicap match that's in her favor.
Yeah, especially with you have Nia Jax as this probably should have been Bliss and Jax winning to really should have. The excuse was built in for Sasha Banks to take the loss. It was a handicap match against the two biggest heels you have on the female side. In fact, I would argue they're your only heels. And worth a damn anyways. I guess technically Emma's a heel. And Alicia Fox, who we'll talk about later, I assure you. Moving on, we had Kurt Angle on the phone backstage and Braun Strowman barging in. What did you think of this?
Here's the thing. It's fine.
I liked it, actually. I liked it. It sold Braun as a guy to be afraid of, which is nice. And
the problem is that I've seen this exact promo at least 4 other times, and I don't care anymore.
Yeah, it's at this point, it's a broken record. Then we had Cedric Alexander versus Noam Dar. I actually liked this match more than I have liked their prior encounters. It had a bit of a hard-hittingness to it. It had a bit of fierceness to it, which has been completely lacking in this kind of almost blood feud.
Yeah.
And Alicia Fox came out to be there in her neck brace and do a spot where she basically bought Dar some time to get back in the ring. She distracted Cedric. Cedric gets rolled up, but he rolls through and then hits Dar with the lumbar check. The story needs to end. These two could have a really good match. There's nothing that can save this storyline at this point. No. Absolutely nothing.
And they've already had, this is the 6th blow-off match in a row?
I think the 5th by my count, but yeah.
The feud's done. Done. Move on.
Also, the fact you've not given Dar any wins in this feud. There's no reason to think that he can win a match here.
I would not disagree.
Then we went on to Miz TV. I liked elements of this. I like it when the heels speak to a degree, a level of truth, and talking about how every time Ambrose has gotten a belt, it hasn't really elevated that belt, and he's kind of fumbled under the pressure, has some truth to it. His WWE title reign and his current Intercontinental title reign, or not current, but the previous one, are, I think, good examples of this, that he didn't really do a lot with the belt. And some of that is booking. In no way am I trying to blame Jon Moxley for this, but it at least is a coherent storyline that Miz can use.
Yeah, I'm going to blame it all on the booking, really, because I've only been watching this for the last year and a half. So I don't know what the hell. I missed the entirety of The Shield. I missed the entirety of The Shield Fallout. I have never seen him. I've seen one match outside the WWE, and that was his TNA match. That was really darn good, actually, against some random guy. And that's pretty much my whole exposure to him. So when they book him, they're like, okay, well, here's the deal. You're going to face Lesnar to lose. And here's the title, and we're not going to do anything with you because you're just a transitional champion. And here's the Intercontinental title, and we're not going to do anything with you because we're going to transition it on and off you for a couple. They did it a couple times, or is it just once? I don't even. Twice. It's so forgettable. I don't even remember. They can't book him. They don't know how to book him, and he's just as bored with the whole scenario as I am.
That's kind of the problem, though, that I'm getting at, is to a degree him being bored with it and not. Backstage and in the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast, it's kind of been almost outed that to a degree Ambrose is kind of his own worst enemy in that regard, is that if he's not interested, he just goes kind of quiet and he doesn't try to make something out of shit. And as much as you can fail to make something out of shit, you almost have to try. Otherwise, you don't get interesting storylines. And that's kind of what I'm getting at that's happening here. But they are giving him shit, to be clear. Like, it's not entirely his fault.
I'll agree. I'll agree that he has some degree of culpability in this, but only in as much as he's not standing up and go, "This is fucking bullshit. I don't want to do it. Let's do something that's good." Mm-hmm. Other than that, it's all booking, baby.
Oh yeah, no. This is the symptom of WWE is that you should not have to make shit into chicken salad, to borrow the Brock Lesnar phrase from the Ultimate Fighter. But
correct.
The reality is you do. Because the writing is shit.
Correct. Case in point, Kevin Owens, still pretty heelish, even though they've completely buried him for 6 months.
Yeah, I wouldn't say 6 months. I'd say more like 4, but yeah. But, just another mishandled talent currently in WWE that I'd love to see go somewhere else, but almost the entire roster falls under this category.
Yeah.
Ambrose comes out. He wants his rematch tonight. Interrupted by Slater and Rhino. Slater wants his title shot for the kids.
Well, my brain.
As he was the last man to pin the Miz. Miz wants no part of this because he got a 4th of July party to go to. Come on, you can't expect him to defend a title.
Don't try and put the Miz over. What's wrong with you?
That's not me trying to put him over. That was a lot of sarcasm. Although I will say, full stop here. The WWE's impromptu title match thing is really stupid. Because if we apply any kind of real combat sports logic to this, which again, this is supposed to be simulating, you would advertise the living shit out of your title match and make it mean something. So you wouldn't name it, like, The Miz is kind of right in the sense that he's not prepared to for a match tonight because he was never told he had a match tonight. It was never promoted. We weren't supposed to get an Intercontinental title match if we're going into this in a real sense. And then Kurt Angle made an Intercontinental Championship match. Like, you milk that for, like, some ratings, some attendance, some money. If this were real, and again, it's supposed to be treated to a degree as if it is real. In general, this is my problem with, like, Raw and SmackDown not having a fight card, if you will. Like, at the beginning of the show, you have no idea what matches you're getting.
No, I mean, SmackDown is better at it. They will straight up say, here's, like, 3 matches we're totally going to have tonight.
Yeah, they're better at it, though, although they do also the impromptu shit as well.
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing with any of your points. My only addendum to that would be that the Intercontinental title is supposed to be the title, and the U.S. title. Those 2 titles are the ones you're supposed to defend on TV.
Yeah, no. Defend that on TV. I'm just saying, announce it like, next week on Raw, we are going to have an Intercontinental title match, and you should tune in for that. That's what I mean.
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing with that in any way, shape, or form. But again, to kind of follow through on your rant is, if you're holding the belt that is to be defended on TV, you got to be ready in a simulated sports sense of the word to defend the title on TV.
Yeah.
So get the program all the way together. Your shit. Get all of your shit, put it in a backpack, get it together.
Now I have Morty in my head.
There you go. This also had my fucking most detested trope from wrestling, and that's, in particular, Corey Graves decided that this was his night to do this all night, and that's defy, ignore, and completely expunge logic from the situation to try and get yourself over as a heel. I don't care. I don't want to hear about how The Miz invented the Miz kick, and now it's the It kick because The Miz invented the It kick, and he does these kicks because they're his.
They're really bad, too. Like, they're terrible.
He's terrible at everything. The whole reason this match was any good is because Heath Slater I almost said Heath Ledger. Heath Slater carried him from bell to bell.
Anyways, we've kind of hinted at it, but we got a title match between Heath Slater and Miz here, with the winner going on to face Ambrose at Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah, and that part I was happy about. They said the winner of the match. They always, without exception, fuck it up and go, like, it's obvious. it would be very obvious that Heath Slater is not going to win this match. This is just a TV match they're having. So they always, without exception, screw up and say the winner will face or whoever, and then you get to, we're going to have this match tonight, and then you get to face The Miz at Great Nuts on Fire. They always screw that up. And tonight they didn't. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was pretty nice. Ambrose was on commentary. I found it distracting, although I like his wit. I just found it distracting.
Yeah.
You were more pro the Ambrose commentary.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it because I was, I was enjoying it probably because I was very anti Graves at this point. So anybody who was going to get on there and shut him the fuck up from being the retarded, useless overheel, fine. I'm fine with it. And I enjoyed what he had to say. I enjoy how he said it. And I enjoyed being distracted from all of the incredibly soft things that The Miz was pittering and pattering and prancing around doing. And I got to enjoy Heath Slater wrestling, which Heath Slater is now the best part of this feud. Well, I don't know. Rhino might be the best part of the feud because his expressions and his enthusiasm is so awesome, and I'm enjoying that a great deal.
I am as well. Wardrobe malfunction for The Miz was highlight. His pants ripped massively.
His pants were more over than he is.
Pretty much, yeah. I have it written down here. This match was pretty ton-ply. Smaj ending with the Miz Taraj getting involved and Maurice getting involved, and Miz gets a skull-crushing finale for the victory. Post-match, and then a post-match beatdown on Slater and Ambrose. And it appears Maurice has forgiven Miz, so
yeah, I
suppose that storyline is done, and which is a shame because I actually like that storyline.
Yeah, I could see. Well, I mean, the WWE is really in favor of breaking up anybody who's having any amount of happiness. So I assume that this is just another angle, and then she's going to leave Miz for Ty Dillinger, or maybe she's doing a three-way thing with the Chop guys. That's probably what's going to happen, and then they'll put her on SmackDown, and she'll have to wrestle.
Please don't do that. She can't wrestle.
Correct.
She's an attractive lady, and that is, and she actually delivers reasonably decent promos, but she is not a wrestler.
Her French is terrible.
Then we had a Titus Worldwide backstage segment, which Apollo actually seems very on board with the Titus brand at this point. That's pretty nice. I like it.
I'm liking this. They got a catchphrase. They got a little chant going on. He gave him a new kind of new catchphrase for himself.
Cruz can't lose.
Cruz can't lose, baby.
And the promo work here by Titus is really good. I never thought I would be this much on Titus O'Neil's nuts.
I know.
But I am solidly there. Apollo is going to face off with Braun Strowman tonight because Braun wanted competition. He's going to face him for his basically to prove to his daughter that you can beat monsters because Apollo Crews is a new daddy apparently. So congratulations on that. Then we had Shattered Truth time with Goldust giving us his film, and take it away, Byron.
I enjoyed it. End of list. I liked the delivery. I was a little disappointed that the crowd decided to go into business for themselves halfway through, and I was equally disappointed that Goldie didn't just kind of do some awesome veteran stuff to shut him down. And just kind of change his cadence a little bit. I love it when wrestlers do that, and everybody's like, what? Because the wrestler will say something out of rhythm, and just everybody just looks like an idiot, and it's the best. And they all know how dumb they look and sound on TV, and they know it's on national or international broadcast, so you just look like a retard all over the planet. I was a little disappointed that didn't happen, but everything else was really good. I enjoyed R-Truth showing up behind him, eating some popcorn.
I really enjoyed that part. Yeah,
I equally enjoyed the fact that Goldust wasn't stupid and figured it out right away what was going on. He didn't just kind of like sit there and do
the dumb heel thing with like just staring at the screen like, oh no, he can't possibly be there. No.
Look how great. Well, do like the 5-minute double take which is classic WWE overbooking, jerking themselves off on TV, or the 9.5 minute pretend you don't hear the crowd thing, which is classic WWE jerking themselves off.
The only time that
yeah.
worked, if I may, was the Chris Nowitzki Dudley stuff, where Chris Nowitzki's going on in his I'm a Harvard educated guy promo, which was good, and the fans started just like randomly cheering. And he's going like, you agree with me, right? You agree with me. It's like it's clear he's getting ambushed by a face, but like he's like, they really like me. They turned around right into a 3D.
Yeah, I do like those. They pull one of those out once every other year, once a year. And I really do like that when the heel's convinced that, hey, oh yeah, they're on my side now. And they make you buy into the fact that they're buying into the fact. That's always fun. But I really hate the overly long, I'm not supposed to react. The writers told me not to react. I don't know if Vince wants me to react. Maybe I should call Vince and see if he wants me to react.
Yeah, but Goldust, I think at this point, he did not give a fuck. Like,
yeah, not at all.
I'm not going to look like a retard.
Yeah.
Then we had Kurt Angle backstage with Cesaro and Sheamus. Basically, this is where we learned that it's going to be an Iron Man match, which I'm happy about. Great Balls of Fire.
I don't know why it's half an hour. That doesn't make... I think that's
It's not really an Iron Man match to me.
No, that's just a regular tag team match.
Yeah, I mean, a tag team title match should be 20, 25 minutes without the Iron Man stipulation. So, yeah, to have it 30 minutes is a bit weird. But still, I mean, yeah, it'll be an enjoyable match. And Cesaro wants Finn Balor. Basically, Angle wants him to fight, Strowman, because Strowman needs competition. But
which is a match I'd be very in favor of.
I would be down.
Yeah,
I'd be down with that. But I'm also down with Cesaro versus Baylor. We'll get to that we'll get to that later. Seth Rollins, Kurt Hawkins. This was the low point of the night. Allow me to take over here for a moment because I have rants. What is Kurt Hawkins' gimmick supposed to be?
He's the Star Maker.
I don't get it. I don't understand remotely. He looks retarded. Like,
yes.
Am I going to lose tonight? Well, you got squashed last time you fought Seth Rollins, so yeah, you haven't won a match in forever. And you could do so much with Hawkins because he is a guy who you should have work with new talent coming up, like that are kind of learning little bits about themselves. Like his stuff with Aleister Black was really good. He has a great mind for the business, even if I don't think he's a big star necessarily. He should be used appropriately, and this is just a squash with no remote point to it. It doesn't help Rollins. He does not look any stronger.
Yeah, I was sitting there going, when's Bray gonna save this whole angle? I had to put up with a bullshit match, and now I'm getting a bullshit promo. And I need Bray Wyatt to come and say something that's awesome. It doesn't matter what it is. I need him to show up. And he didn't. And I was very sad. And basically that's time I'm never going to get back. And I think that I'm owed something now.
Yeah, this was a piss-soaked piece of burning carpet. That's just all there is to it.
Yarp.
Then we had a Lesnar and Joe interview, which broke down to Joe hunting for Brock backstage. The delivery and stuff was really good here, but the mic work was fucking god-awful.
Yeah. Yeah, Joe's mic kept fading in and out and flickering on and off, and I was very concerned that maybe the sound guy with the boom mic was having a massive coronary explosion, and it turned out he had a body mic on the whole time, and there's no excuse for any of that.
Like, I realize, like, for example, our audio production is not great. At times it is terrible.
Whoa.
But we are a zero-budget podcast. This is a multi-billion-dollar company. Get your shit together.
All of it in a backpack.
Yeah. Then we had Neville versus Mustafa Ali, and I'm going to let you take over on this one in a sec, but I am just going to say, I'm really tired of these non-title cruiserweight matches with Neville. Like, Neville is over. We're now at this point just overexposing him.
Yes.
Take over, please.
Alright, so this match, we both agree, is really weird and doesn't make sense for a lot of reasons. And I made reference to it being a double squash match, which I think you disagreed slightly because and you freely admitted that you weren't fully paying attention to the match. But I've got another. So there's that kind of thing, but there's also the fact that everybody's conditioned to an exacting formula for a WWE match. You see actions X, Y, and Z, which lead to X2, Y2, and Z2, which then culminates in the finish. That's how all of their matches work, with very few exceptions unless you're on pay-per-view or somebody gets their one creative idea of the year through. And so when I saw certain actions and reactions and then further actions, and then Mustafa Ali got a pin, which was apparently semi-botched because I don't really know if Neville actually kicked out on time or the ref just kind of had to go, oh, shit, you're not supposed to lose. And then there was another big finish, which in a WWE match, after you do these actions, you get the win. That's how this works. You've done all this work. The other guy has done a little work in, and then you did some more work, and then you did a thing, and then you get the win. And then they started another match in this match. And it was exactly the opposite. It was Neville doing X, Y, and Z, followed by X, Y, and Z from Ali, followed by X, Y, and Z from Neville, which was... so there was a squash match that didn't get a finish. They restarted the match, and there was another squash match. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. Never do it again.
I think you can go away from the formula if what you have is good. But yeah,
but they don't.
This wasn't good.
They never do. They never ever do. I mean, every Edge match is now a Seth Rollins match. I'm sure that you could line them up side by side and have, if not exactly the same moves and exactly the same
Rollins
beats
is
exactly the same time.
Slightly more dynamic, but yeah, I get it's definitely the same formula.
Yeah, so I mean, they never deviate, which is why it was weird. I actually looked away from the screen, knowing that Mustafa Ali just beat the champ, and that's kind of cool. That was innovative. Wait, why aren't they ringing the bell? So, yeah, just do yourself a favor and never do this again. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, make sure if you're going to do something off form that it's good. And which means never do it again, because nothing you really ever do is good. But
yeah,
if you do, you better be damn well sure that it's going to be good, because as much as I didn't really feel the first part was that much of a squash for Ali on Neville. I thought that it was kind of just, there was just a bit of Ali running wild, but I agree with everything else you said. This was a match that I was left feeling very weird about. Like, if your idea was to make me confused, mission accomplished. But I feel that shouldn't be your goal. It may be, but I feel it shouldn't be. Then we had a Bray Wyatt promo out in the desert, and this may be the second best promo in a desert ever. To be honest, the best being the Undertaker and Big Show. I love that feud so much. Or not? Well, I love the feud. It was really actually kind of indifferent, but the promo packages were really good. It was when Big Show was learning from the Undertaker, and they were out in the desert, and Big Show's motorcycle broke down, and said that he was going to wait till the Undertaker fell asleep and steal his motorcycle. And Undertaker's response was, "That's a good answer, big man. It's a good answer, but I don't sleep." And then just drove off. Really good. But this was really good. Bray is a very good wordsmith. You can give him really not a lot of content, and he really stretches it out and does a fantastic job. It's probably the one thing he's better at than, say, Enzo on the mic. And I'd say that's, with those two being the two best promo cutters on Raw, for the record, outside of Paul Heyman. So that's not meant as an insult. Like, they're both very, very good. But that's the one thing. Bray's a little bit better of a rambler. He keeps you interested even when he's kind of circling around the same logic.
Correct.
So moving We get to an Alexa Bliss backstage thing. There's nothing here. She just says that she let Banks win, and that's her strategy. I don't really get it. And the interview bot said, I don't believe you either. And Bliss doesn't care what the interview bot thinks, which is how a heel should answer that question.
That is correct. I basically ignored this entire promo. I can't. Bliss had a very brief window in time where she was incredibly over as a heel, and everything she was doing was great. And now it's just standard or substandard, just kind of heel-ish type stuff, I guess. Because
she's not. She's again, this goes back to she's being given shit.
Yeah, well, somebody at some point needs to stand up and go. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me.
Whoa, sir, a woman in this company cannot do that. Like, full stop. Nope. They can't. They'll get fired.
I don't care.
To be honest, if you're willing to get fired, and there's been a couple of women who frankly have done exactly what you're saying, and who are willing to get fired, Gail Kim comes to mind. Sure, but I can't really blame someone for wanting to keep their job.
Well, then don't tell them, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Just do what you want to do, and if they don't like it, then they can fire you. But if it gets over,
they'll still fire you.
They didn't fire John Cena. Early on in his career, he did several things.
That's a man, though. That's a man, though, and at the time, he had friends, specifically Stephanie McMahon was actually very big on his career, and that kept him going. Like, you can do it. Like, John Cena actually did an interview recently where he was talking about how the WWE doesn't protect him, which it's a lot of bullshit. It's what you'd expect. Like, he's not gonna bury himself on mic. It's like, this thing. But he's wrong in the sense that if you have no friends backstage, you don't have power. Like, getting over doesn't matter. If you want examples, I present you Damian Sandow. I present you Heath Slater. I present you Daniel Bryan for the longest time. Like, it took a long time until the fans were so angry that he wasn't getting pushed that he had to be pushed. You either have to be able to get exceedingly over or have powerful friends backstage who will back you up if you go off script. And Bliss may have that. I don't know, but I kind of doubt it. I think unless you're sleeping with someone, I don't think a woman in this company has that power.
I'm fairly certain that one Hunter Hearst Helmsley may come to her defense since NXT
he hasn't defended some of the other NXT superstars who have received basically a boot kicking for doing the same thing.
Okay, I guess.
Bo Dallas.
He's still employed.
He's employed, but he's a job guy. Like,
still employed.
His push died right there and then.
I don't know what that there and then was, but
He briefly, when he came up, actually had a reasonable push because he was an NXT champion, and they kind of had to take that somewhat seriously. And they gave him a moderate push. He got wins over some big guys who were big names at the time, although admittedly don't mean anything now, like Wade Barrett, because Barrett's career died a horrible death. But once he at some point had said that he tried to fight against a booking decision they had for him that he thought was going to bury his character. It did, for the record. And the response he got was, well, you do this or you get fired. And Triple H didn't save him. Bray Wyatt didn't save him because Bray was a reasonably big deal at the time. And I would imagine it would go worse for Bliss if that were to happen.
I would seriously doubt they're going to let the champion go.
They'll just take the belts off of her, then let her go.
Fair enough, but it's okay.
Which they have done before.
Do you want to have a shit career and look like a retard, or do you want to eventually at some point stand up for yourself?
That's a tough call, my friend. If Vince, like, the thing is everyone's like, Vince McMahon's very approachable and stuff. I'm like, very approachable and actually listening are two different things. Like, being able to sit down and have 15, 20, 25 minutes with the man, 30 minutes with the man to talk isn't really worthwhile if he's not going to listen to what you have to say or change his mind. That kind of, I think, is the problem here.
It may very well be, but if you don't try, you're always going to fail.
Anyways, I do believe Bliss can do good stuff, but right now, yeah, it's substandard shit right now. And then we go to Cesaro versus Finn Balor, with the Hardys joining the commentary team. I liked that the Hardys put over Cesaro and Finn Balor on commentary. I like that. Thumbs up. I dislike the fact that this was like the ultimate in no content, trying to make runs out of it. The number of times Matt Hardy had to say, "We're really prepared for this match," only to be asked a follow-up question about how they are prepared to respond with, "We are really prepared for this match," was excruciating. Just saying.
Yeah, well, they always... and I don't know why the commentary team likes to ask for specifics, because they have to know in their entire career, no wrestler at any point, at any time, has ever forked over, "Oh, well, I've been doing like a shitload of push-ups," or "I've been waking up early." And
the other thing is they're asking about this being like, "You've never been in an Iron Man match before. What are you planning to do?" Blah blah blah. It's like they learned that this was an Iron Man match like 45 minutes ago. How concrete of a plan are they even supposed to have?
Yeah, I don't know. Never, ever in the history of wrestling have I ever heard somebody cough up a direct answer to a question like that, and it should just never be asked.
Never ever.
End of list.
Yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily fault anyone involved here, because they were probably told to do this, but it was bad. It was bad. This is just bad. The match itself had some really good moments in it, as you would imagine Cesaro versus, Prince Devitt / Finn Balor / Fergal Devitt would have. These are, you could possibly argue that these are the two best men on Raw as wrestlers, and not in the company, because AJ Styles, I think, is one of the two best, but these are top 5 wrestlers, top guys, top talent. And if they were just allowed to go in there and have a fucking great match, it would be fucking great, but this was an overbooked monstrosity.
Yep. It was a tolerable match from two guys that I expect. If you're going to put these two guys in the ring for longer than 15 minutes, I expect a 4.5, 4 3/4 star match, because of their history and their abilities in the ring, and they were given shit all to do. This was maybe a 2-star match with the shit ending.
2 1/4, 2.5 being exceedingly generous.
Yeah, so I'm very let down by the in-ring product, and didn't actually get to hear any of the commentary because somebody was talking the whole time about some salamanders or something. I don't know.
That's a little harsh. Anyways, Elias Sampson gets involved because, he's feuding with Finn Balor. What a waste of a fucking talent that is. And then we have a Smoz on the outside. Balor hits a nice drop kick on Cesaro on the outside, rolls him in, coup de grace, 3 count, boom. Moving on. Apollo Crews versus Braun Strowman. In terms of in-ring quality, this might have been the best match of the night. It had some definite mark-out spots, like the double thrust kick to counter a moonsault. Yeah. That was very good.
That was very good.
I want to see more of that, but I want it spaced out like hell. I want to see that again in like 3-4 months, not before then.
I don't want to see it again for 2 years.
I also do not want to see anyone else on the roster do it, because there's no one else on the roster I could really come up with that I would believe doing it. But
they'll probably have single 205
they will do it in
live
every
guy.
single Yeah.
Every single 205 live guy will be doing this 8 times a match for the next 6 months.
Yeah. I do like that Apollo Crews, through the Titus brand thing, is actually getting a character. I like that, because that was significantly lacking beforehand. He has amazing athletic ability. Psychology needs work in the ring, but, I'm willing to be patient and let this come along.
Correct.
We get some running power slams that could end the match, but Braun pulls up Apollo. The third one eventually actually gets the pin. And then Titus saves Apollo for more punishment, but then just gets squashed himself. Apollo winds up getting thrown into an ambulance. Roman Reigns is the driver of the ambulance. He ambushes Braun Strowman. He does a roar spot in the middle of a street fight to spear him off the stage.
Yes.
Fuck. That is all. That's all I have to say about this. I feel my views on Roman Reigns are incredibly well known, and again, this spot took way too long to actually happen. Like, he had to knock on the ambulance like 3-4 times before going to check the driver's door. He's looking in the driver's door and seems to be unable to ascertain that Roman Reigns is inside.
Yeah, sitting right there at the window.
Yeah, this was bad.
And instead of having Roman Reigns have anything to actually overcome for any reason, they've booked him to be super duper Uberman again, and nobody cares again.
You also make your heel look
again.
like an idiot, because earlier in the night he was talking about how he felt the life of Reigns fall from him, and he may not even make it to Great Balls of Fire. And yeah, he looks no worse for the wear at all.
That's fine. He might as well have just been having a nap the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Probably was.
I can't. There's zero reason why anybody should ever be behind Roman Reigns based on the current booking. He's a fine. Seems like a fine dude. Seems like he can actually wrestle a good goddamn match.
No.
They're not letting him do it. They're not letting him get over. Like I called it at WrestleMania. His career's over.
People love to try and take any credit away from him as like a potential wrestler by saying he's never had a great match. I'm like, his matches with AJ Styles were raved about. His matches with Sami Zayn, not Sami Zayn, but with Kevin Owens were actually quite good. John Cena, like he's for a big man, he's a fine worker. He's got a unique and great look. He's actually pretty good at cutting a promo when he's allowed to just be himself on the mic, as opposed to Vince McMahon's idea of what a face should be, or the big dog, which are both terrible. Again, we're back to I can't. There's so little talent on Raw, and SmackDown is better, but not that much better. In the sense that there is so little talent that is being allowed to just be as good as they can be. The only exceptions to this on Raw on this show was Nia Jax to a degree. She's being handled largely appropriately, and I can't think of anyone else. Sasha Banks has been mishandled, although currently her handling is pretty good.
This week,
Miz could be more. You're going to disagree with that, but he could be something. Ambrose mishandled as hell. We were through Alexa Bliss has been mishandled as hell. The tag team matches have been. I've been incredibly against the tag team feud between the Bar and the Hardys, not because it's the Bar versus the Hardys, because that should be gold, but because the booking has been so bad.
Yep.
Anyways, that's all. We're going to talk about some G1 US special after this to cheer us up and end the night on a high note. And you can catch us for that.